Over the course of the year 2024, we saw a lot of beauty and skincare trends take over the internet, and specifically TikTok. And my God, were a lot of them insane. I didn't even realize until I was doing research for this video how insane 2024 was for the skincare community. We have some identity issues we need to work through. Whether it was the chaotic morning shed videos,
hey yo, what the
or Sephora Kids dropping hundreds of dollars on a single skincare product, there was a lot of stuff going down last year. And now that we've had a little bit of time to rest, recover, and think a little bit more clearly, I'm gonna go through every single skincare trend that took over the internet in 2024 and rank them and let you know if it's something we wanna be doing in the future or something that we should just leave in the past and let die. Basically, to break it down, I'm gonna organize each of the trends into 3 different categories. The first being Shantae You Stay. These are the trends that I think are actually beneficial to society and something that you might want to integrate into your own skincare routine and are net positive. I'm not expecting much, but you know, there might be some. Maybe. The next tier is Tell Me More, which basically means, okay, I'm gonna need you to tell me a little bit more about what you're doing to your skin before I can jump on the bandwagon of saying if this is a good trend or not. We need some more info and research. It's just a little murky, but not terrible. And then the final shit category. Leave it in 2024, baby. We are not claiming that energy this year or any year in the future, and please God, let this trend die. And let's start off nice and strong with the morning shed videos. If you don't know what morning shed is, oh my God, do I envy the trauma-free mind that you have, because wow, this trend actually scarred me. I have nightmares about it. What the actual fuck? Over the course of 2024, but more so at the end of the year, many beauty content creators took to TikTok to show off their most extreme nighttime routines. And I know what you're thinking, Hiram, putting 10 skincare products on your face is already pretty extreme, right? Nay, people took it to the next level, whether it was jaw straps, chin straps, mouth tape, silicone masks, eyelash curlers, hair bonnets, hair curlers, hair masks, eye masks, hand gloves. It was so ridiculous that people were legit looking like the Terrifier 3 every time they went to bed. And what's worse, everyone who was doing this trend was like not even 20 years old yet, or maybe at oldest in their mid-20s, all doing it under the name of avoiding any possible sign of aging at all. Yeah, that's how far we've gotten with our extreme fear of beauty. When are we gonna say it's too much? If you guys haven't watched, I did an entire video reacting to morning shed videos and giving my thoughts, aka how utterly ridiculous it is. But I think one of my bigger critiques as well with this is that there's just no way you can, 1, get good sleep if you have all this shit packed onto your face. But number 2, I don't think a lot of the content creators who are posting their morning shed videos actually routinely did them. It definitely seemed like the type of trend that people were just doing to get as much views and attention on TikTok as possible, and wasn't really actually what their nighttime routine looked like. So for all of those reasons, unsurprisingly, I'm gonna say we should leave morning shed videos in 2024. There is no reason why we need to be doing all that. And honestly, I don't want to see another morning shed video for the rest of my life. We're done. Case closed. The next trend that was by no means created in 2024, but definitely got even more popular than it already was glass skin. Now, I've known about glass skin forever. I believe like in one of my very first YouTube videos back in 2018, I made a video criticizing glass skin, but even back then it was more so popular within Korean beauty rather than in the US. However, recently we've definitely seen a huge surge in popularity when it comes to getting that ultra perfect, ultra natural glass skin look. And here's the thing with glass skin. I think a lot of the foundational principles of it are actually pretty good. You know, making sure that your skin is hydrated, using a good moisturizer, hydrating serum. But here's the thing, like most trends online, I just think people have taken it a little bit too far, because most videos that I saw about glass skin revolved around a huge skincare routine with just an excessive amount of products that I think are in no way healthy to be exposing your skin to every single day. But my other issue with the whole glass skin trend, and maybe this is just me being bitter, I will admit that, I just don't think glass skin is very realistic, because in reality, the people that I saw promoting the glass skin trend already genetically were blessed to have near perfect, if not perfect skin that would allow you to have your face all greased up with no one noticing any imperfections. If you're someone who has texture texture, bumps, acne, sorry babe. Apparently glass skin is not for you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, try putting on a skincare routine that will make your skin look super dewy and glowy, and let me know how that works out for you. I feel like the glass skin trend is very reminiscent of all of these micro trends that are meant to encourage product consumption, but in reality only serve people who are genetically blessed to fit our current beauty standards. I don't know, I kind of want to leave it in 2024, but you know what? I'm going to be a little bit forgiving. I will say that glass skin can go in the tell me more section, because there are definitely products out there meant to help you get a healthy glow, and I think that's great. And if this trend is done right, sure, in theory, it's a nice idea. We just got to work on the execution. So next up is Korean skincare. I will never get tired of talking about or promoting Korean skincare because it's amazing. I know it's kind of funny for me to say that this is a trend in 2024 when Korean skincare has very much been around for a long time, and it's a very narrow-minded view of American culture only. But let's be honest, I feel like 2024 was really when Korean skincare just exploded. I feel like as a collective, American society finally woke up to how incredible Korean skincare is, to the point that the majority of videos I saw from Gen Z and Gen Alpha, their entire routines were made up of Korean skincare. And especially with the rise of TikTok and our world becoming increasingly more globalized, it's become a lot easier to get access to a lot of Korean skincare that even just 5 years ago would have been very difficult to get. I'll forever be a fan of Korean skincare. You guys should definitely subscribe if you haven't already, because I love to make as many videos as I can about Korean skincare on my channel, and for that reason, Korean skincare, Shantae you stay. I love you, boo. Next up is a trend that I feel like is lesser known and didn't get quite the attention and hype it deserved, but it's called skin cycling. Now maybe this is a little bit more underground, but I definitely saw a lot more people talking about skin cycling in 2024 than I ever saw talk about in the past. And it's probably because I feel like it finally got a popularized name around what a lot of skincare content creators, dermatologists, and estheticians have been promoting for years. I actually have unknowingly been in favor of skin cycling on my channel for so long before I ever realized that was what the term was called. But if you don't know what it is, it's essentially cycling through each of your active ingredient formulas to maximize your skincare results in a safe and effective way. And I've always said, just because a product is stronger doesn't mean it's better. It all comes down to how you use it. And an example of a skin cycling routine would look like one night using a retinol, the next night using an exfoliant, and then the next night using products that focus solely on barrier repair, and then the following night just taking a break and using your normal skincare routine, and repeating that cycle over and over again. I think skin cycling is incredible, and I'm so glad that more people are talking about it, because that's really the key to unlocking a really powerful, effective, but safe lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, skincare routine that's actually going to deliver the results that you want and not run the risk of over exfoliating or over treating your skin. Low and slow. Be intentional with the products that you're using, be mindful of which days or nights you're using them, and just take it slowly. That's the best thing that we can do for our skincare routine. So for that reason, I'm going to put skin cycling in Shantae you stay. Okay, now don't get your hopes up because there's some really bad ones coming up. The next trend is a little bit more general, but it kind of covers a lot of bases that I think all revolve around the same thing. Looks maxing, products maxing, basically just an excessive amount of skincare products in your routine. I'm just gonna be honest, the majority of really viral skincare routine videos that I see on my For You page are just entirely too packed with an excessive amount of products. People just way overdoing it, using like 4 different cleansing products, following up with like 5 serums. It's tempting to look at a lot of these videos of influencers using 1, so many products in their routine, but 2, every other video featuring an entire different set of skincare products, and think to ourselves, wow, I wish I had that much money, or I wish I had that much free time to be able to like do a skincare routine like that. But truthfully, it's not something that we should be idolizing or aiming for, when in reality, the best thing that you can be doing for your skin is keeping it very minimal, focusing on the basics, basics like cleansing serum, moisturizer, sunscreen, and not excessively buying products. And I feel like that's really what this trend comes down to at the end of the day, overconsumption core. Can we please leave that in 2024? Buying beauty products just because a really pretty influencer is promoting them without doing any research into the ingredients or figuring out if it's right for your skin, and having a shelf full of a ridiculous amount of beauty products that are going to expire in a year is not sustainable. It's not good for your skin. We should be intentional when it comes to the products that we are buying. And yeah, I'm gonna put that in leave it in 2024. We really, I think, should be prioritizing skincare minimalism and actually doing research on the products that you're going to be using on your skin. Next, what's this one? Oh yeah, cloud skin. Making your skin look like a cloud. Honestly, this is a trend that I don't even know too much about, but apparently at the gist of it, it's using a lot of mattifying skincare products, using powder makeup products to create this very blurred look on the skin that apparently makes your skin look like a cloud. I'm gonna say this is kind of like the antithesis to glass skin. Can you believe it? Within 1 year, we already have two different trends being the complete opposite of each other. What is happening? And I'll say it, as someone with oily skin, I definitely like, you know, kind of the more mattified appearance to my skin, solely because I know by the end of the day, not even the end of the day, by halfway through the day, my skin's gonna look dewy because of how greasy and oily I get. But overall, when it comes to the health of the skin, it's not a good idea to be going for products that make your skin look too mattified or dried out, because that inevitably can lead to dehydration, and an excessive amount of powdery makeup products or skincare products on the skin can actually increase dehydration. The only time I say that it can sometimes be beneficial is if you really do have oily skin. Having powder on your face can actually help to absorb that excessive oil, as long as you're making sure you're going in with a hydrating and moisturizing skincare routine. And I just didn't see as much focus on that when it came to the whole cloud skin trend. So similar to glass skin, I'm gonna put this one in tell me more, because I feel like I just need more information about it and what products are being used before I can make my final judgment. Next, LED therapy. Holy shit, did LED therapy blow up this year. I was just getting force-fed so many videos about LED masks to use, doing LED therapy, and my thoughts, I think it's amazing. LED therapy has a lot of data behind it to show how effective it can be for the skin in treating different concerns like premature aging, acne and breakouts. I mean, they literally use LED therapy in dermatology offices and at esthetician clinics in order to help the skin, and people pay a lot of money for it. And of course, I am always on the train that skincare should be more accessible, and I love that people are doing at-home LED because it's a great way of being able to get micro doses of that in-office treatment if you can't afford to spend, you know, like $500 a session. But as much as I love it, I won't say that it's all roses, because the reality is LED therapy has gotten so popular that a lot of products have hit the market that are very low quality and just don't provide enough LED light or the right wavelengths to actually benefit the skin. And so because of that, a lot of people think that they're getting LED benefits when in reality, babe, you're just shining an RGB light on your skin. It's not gonna cut it. You have to be doing it right and using the right products. And I feel like I should put this in tell me more, but in reality, the data is there, the research is there, dermatologists, scientists, and estheticians recommend it, so I'm gonna put it in Shantae, you stay. Bravo guys, I'm proud of you for making this trend popular. And that happiness was short-lived, because we have now gotten to probably the worst trend of 2024, but honestly, probably just the worst trend ever. When I saw this blow up last year, I got pissed the fuck off. It's DIY sunscreen. Making your own sunscreen at home. Nara Smith, I'm looking at you. I still have a grudge. DIY sunscreen is unfortunately something that is not new. I've talked about it since the beginning of my channel and how harmful and damaging it can be and just how awful DIY skincare can be. And I thought by this point we'd be able to understand that it's just not something that we should be doing. But unfortunately, like a lot of issues in this country, misinformation is still at an all-time high. And it's definitely skyrocketed last year when Nara Smith made a video showing her making a DIY sunscreen sunscreen from scratch. I've already made a video about this, so I'm going to keep it short, but it takes an entire team of cosmetic chemists and scientists to be able to approve a sunscreen formula and actually make sure that it can properly protect your skin from the sun. And it's something that you're just not able to do at home. And not only do I think it's really bad for you to be doing it, I also hate that a lot of people online are promoting it as a easy, natural, non-toxic alternative to actual sunscreens that are meant to protect your skin from serious issues like skin cancer.
Most of the sunscreen that you're going to find at the grocery store is full of chemicals and other things that I do not want absorbing through my skin. So I just make my own.
Try again.
So if I could put this in a lower level than leave it in 2024, I would, but you know what? Nara Smith, I'm sorry, but I think this was the worst trend of last year. Leave it behind, burn it.
I said burn it.
Another trend we saw in 2024, which I think is so funny because again, this is a trend that has been around for a long time. I just think maybe it got really popular with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, but it's Snail Mucin. Snail Mucin is an incredible skincare ingredient for the skin that helps with resolving dehydration, a broken moisture barrier. It helps to fight damage and premature aging within the skin. There are just so many benefits to it, and a lot of people get weirded out when it comes to Snail Mucin. I get it. It's a little bit strange, but people in Korea have been using it for, centuries, right? It's been around a really long time, and the data that we have around it is just pretty much all good, which is why I'm going to put it in Shante Yuste. I think this has been an incredible trend that I'm so happy to see taking off even more and more. Okay, so the next trend I feel really iffy about: skin flooding. Did y'all hear about skin flooding? I feel like it was popular at the beginning of last year, but basically to sum it up, it's just what it sounds like. Flooding your skin with a shit ton of hydrating products to get an ultra dewy appearance. Now, like I said before, glowy skin, great. Even dewy skin will support it. But I think the actual execution of this trend is where we kind of lost the plot, because skin flooding very quickly became just excessive product use. People were using multiple toners, multiple essences, serums, moisturizers, gel creams, face masks, face mists, so many products to achieve that ultra hydrated look. And again, like what I was saying before, if you're using that many products on your skin, you are bound to have some serious skin issues down the road. Not to mention, it's so expensive and just not necessary to get good, healthy skin. It's definitely a trend that revolved more around product consumption rather than actual healthy skin. But at its core, I do appreciate it, right? Like, we do want to make sure our skin is hydrated and properly moisturized. It's a great thing to use like a hydrating serum. It's a good principle, but like most trends, we just took it way too far. So I'm gonna put it in tell me more. I really gotta see your routine to know how I feel about it. Oh boy, the next trend has got me fired up. I've also made a video bashing this trend, but it's, how do I say it? 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds flocking to Sephora, buying ridiculously priced skincare products and posting videos online of their $1,000 skincare routine and them applying it. I just gotta be honest, guys. I think as a whole, this trend was just bad. First off, the amount of stories I heard from employees about young kids throwing fits in the middle of the Sephora because their parent wouldn't buy them a $150 product is deeply concerning. But secondly, promoting this idea that as an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, you should be spending hundreds of dollars on a skincare routine is just absolutely wild. Because no, out of literally everyone in the world, you are the only demographic that does not need to be using a full skincare routine. But thirdly, and I think the most troubling aspect around this trend, was seeing how many minors became social media superstars overnight by showing their excessive skincare routines, and specifically seeing how many parents were endorsing and pushing their kids to create this type of content. I think veers on the edge of ethics when it comes to consent and how children are being depicted online. It's just a really morally gray area that I don't like and I don't support and just, don't think is good. And truthfully, I think is quite troubling and enabling a mindset and behavior in young kids that I think is just deeply problematic. So I think we should leave that trend in 2024. Please, the world already has enough issues. We do not need to be promoting this type of behavior in young people. So bye-bye. And then we've reached the final trend, and this one might be the worst. I don't know, maybe. It's sunscreen contouring. What the f are people thinking? Ugh. Okay, if you don't know what sunscreen contouring is, apparently many people who regularly tanned thought it would be a great idea to apply sunscreen in certain areas of the face to create an illusion of a highlighted and contoured effect. No. And the reason I say this might be the worst trend is because the videos I saw of people doing this were people who are suntanning, literally laying out in the sun, actively damaging their skin, but only applying sunscreen in certain areas. It's just so bad. And I honestly can't decide which is worse between DIY sunscreen or this, because at least with DIY sunscreen, you're actually attempting to protect your skin versus the sunscreen contouring trend, which I only saw people using it during tanning sessions. The good thing I will say about this trend is that I didn't really see a lot of people doing it, and I more so saw videos of dermatologists, specialists, and estheticians talking about how horrible this is to do to your skin and why it should be banned from existence as a trend. So I am happy to see that, but if you for a second even consider doing sunscreen contouring, I'm gonna crawl through the screen and slap you across the face with a palm full of sunscreen, of course. You gotta be protected. So yeah, this one is going in Leave It in 2024. And would you look at that? Unsurprisingly, there were more worse trends in 2024 than there were good ones. I'm not shocked to see that at all, because I feel like the majority of micro trends that we see across TikTok are super damaging and not great, which leads me to kind of my final thoughts on this trend cycle that we so often see on TikTok. Within our American consumerist society, we have become way too comfortable with micro trends defining our identity. Trends have always been a part of human culture. If you look way back in history, there have been many instances throughout history where people were trying crazy beauty trends and crazy fashion trends. But I'm more so concerned with how normalized micro trends have become, because at the end of the day, in reality, they prey on young, impressionable people who are desperately looking for a sense of identity and inevitably just drain them or their parents' wallets. And because trends are becoming so rapid and honestly impossible for everyone to keep up with, the only interest that these trends are serving are large-scale corporations. And it's in the interest of the highest 0.1% of our country to be fueling the fire of this extreme consumerist behavior that is just not healthy, completely unsustainable, and really damaging to our own identities and how we view our own beauty. Yes, I will be the first to admit that there's a lot of problematic aspects with the beauty culture and beauty standards, and I think there's a lot to work on there, but it is really sad to see how deeply we're sinking into these micro trends and how many people I see so easily influenced into spending an exorbitant amount of money on a trend that will inevitably die in like 2 months. And the worst thing of all is not even good for your skin. And I really hope that as we progress through 2025, we're able to have a more critical lens on these trends and realize how damaging they can be, what type of messaging they're sending to younger generations, and especially in as sensitive of an economy that we're in right now, how much it's literally hurting us, whether it be our skin or our finances. These microtrends are not good, and it's really sad to see how much misinformation and buying into hype has completely sabotaged people's ability to do product research, ingredient research, and purely hop onto these trends just because a lot of beautiful influencers are promoting them. I don't want to be a bitter old person, okay? Like you just saw, I think there are trends that are actually great and encouraging to see when it comes to our skincare evolution. But I think for the sake of our skin, the sake of our younger generations, and the sake of our wallets, it would do us a lot of good to be more intentional with the type of trends and products that we're buying into and working to establish our own sense of identity that is separate from these mainstream trends. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit negative because my philosophy has always been skincare minimalism and being really intentional with everything that you buy, and my channel has always revolved around like wanting to help you in that process and save you money. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Did you participate in any of these trends? Do you have any thoughts or opinions on micro trends and how they're taking over our society, and if they're a net positive or negative? I want to hear from you guys. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Of course, I haven't done one of these ranking videos in a while, and I had a blast with it, so please let me know if you're interested in seeing any more. And of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.